All right, all right. We are live, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back on to another live. It's my pleasure to chat with you guys about this. Some of you may know, like JCF's going pretty well. Like I was just looking at that at the math. We increased by 252% in the last year, and before that, we were really stagnant. Like we weren't growing terribly well at all. Um, and if I look at the reason why that was, it's not because drastically, well, I'm a little bit smarter. It's not like I'm drastically more talented or anything's changed or there've been anything ridiculous. There's been anything ridiculous in business, but I've just been consistently focused over an extended period of time, which has allowed us to dramatically grow. I used to go through motivation highs and lows. All right. One week I'd be working really well. Another week I'd be working really shit. Well, shit, well, shit, well, shit. And I was working really massive hours. You know, it's crazy, right? We grew by 252% the last year. I went from working 70 hours a week down to like 20, 30 hours a week, like really not much at all. And so what I'm going to talk to you about tonight in this video is the role of motivation and how you can get out of a rut. We were in a rut for an extended period of time. My business was in a rut because I was in a rut. As business owners, and anyone knows, like in any sort of career, you're only going to be as successful as what you allow yourself to be. You can never outgrow you. If you're not mentally healthy, if you're not energetically healthy, if you're not physically healthy, you will never have success. So I'm going to take some time in this video to run you through a couple of things that I found really helpful, and I think you will too, because if you apply this one simple thing, you will never be in a rut again. Okay. Now, guys, you can just quickly, just like Ash Baines has done, if you're watching this live, comment live. If you're watching this as a replay, comment replay. It helps us improve the way that we cater our content to you. Now, one of the things that I've noticed from coaching a lot of people, right? I coach a lot of guys who are millionaires. I'm talking guys who've got businesses that are doing, 1 to 10 million, 10 to 50 million, up to $100 million a year, right? So I've got some guys who are very, very intelligent who I have the pleasure of working with. And there's one thing that I notice that's in common with all of these guys. And I also notice there's one thing which is in common with a lot of the guys who don't have the success in their life and often get stuck. See, the guys who are hyper successful and have massive growth, like the same as what I've experienced in the last year, are guys who never get into ruts, right? The guys who get into ruts and get stuck in ruts are the ones who stay. Because if you get hit with one rut, sure, you might get out of it, but then generally that type of person that goes back into the same rut again or into a slightly different one, but it's continually stop, start, stop, start, stop, start. Maybe you can relate to that. You feel like every time you get the wheels turning, something else comes up and blocks your way. And one of the big issues we see with a lot of dudes is motivation. And like, I'm not able to stay motivated. I start going really well, then something stops me. I start and then I stop, and I start and I stop. And when I analyzed and I looked at all of the guys who I know are doing really, really well and are constantly growing, time, like year on year, day on day, every single day they're getting better in every single way. And one of the common things between these guys, which is really uncommon compared to the majority of the population, is there's one thing differently. You've probably heard a lot of people talk about motivation. If you want to be successful, you need to be motivated. If you want to lose fat, you need to be motivated. If you want to do anything in your life, you need to be motivated. Here's the thing. That's what common people say. And it's very, very common for people to talk about needing to be motivated. I need to get some motivation. Why aren't I successful? Because I don't have motivation. I'm just going to say it to you straight. Every single person that I know who's highly, highly successful, they don't need motivation. They don't need motivational videos. They don't need pick-me-ups. They don't need things which are going to get them hyped and pumped for it. They don't need pre-workout to go to the gym. They don't need any of these things, because they are just as they are 24/7, 365. They are the same constant all the time. They're not motivated. They don't go through highs and lows. And so I want you to ditch the idea of being motivated. I want you to ditch motivation. Fuck that off, because nobody successful is looking for motivation ever. When do you think you would ever see, picture someone who's highly successful that you know of, right? When do you ever think that they would listen to a motivational video? When do you think they would actually buy into that motivation jerk off stuff, right? Never. It just doesn't happen because they're consistent. I don't want you to be motivated. I want you to be consistent. Motivation indicates, and Arnold Schwarzenegger very famously said this, you only need motivation for things that you don't want to do. So if you want to do something, just go and do the actions every single day in order to get the result that you want. If you're not willing to go and put in the yards to get this result, well, maybe you don't actually want that result that bad. And that's okay. So what we should then be doing is getting you more in alignment with something that you actually want to do day in, day out, something that you actually love. Does that make sense? We don't want to just be focused on motivation. We don't want to just be focused on doing things that like sipping pre-workouts, watching motivational videos, things to get us amped up. We don't want to do that. It's actually going to be more detrimental, because what happens is, have you ever noticed when you go and get hyper motivated, like you have a pre-workout, you're super motivated, crush your workout, and then crash afterwards? You go and watch that motivational video, you go really well, and then crash afterwards. You go to that motivational seminar, you do really well, and then you crash afterwards. It happens every single time. Motivation is what common people do. We don't want to be uncommon. We want to be like all the uncommon people. The guys who are the most successful, they do the same thing day in, day out, every single day, every single year. And that is what always yields the greatest results. So how do we do this, right? How do we make it so that we stay super the same all the time? I want to introduce you to a little theory called dopamine toxicity, right? Dopamine toxicity occurs whenever we have an excessive reliance on dopamine. Dopamine is a neurotransmitter. It happens within our brain, and it's the thing which keeps us wanting to do stuff. It was, as they call it, the motivation neurotransmitter, right? Every time you sip your pre-workout, every time someone has a line of cocaine, every single time someone watches a motivation video, that little dopamine signal goes off. Now, if you're used to spiking your dopamine with motivational things like pre-workouts or cocaine or YouTube videos or whatever it is, you get a spike of dopamine and then it shuts off. When you start feeling the crash, when you start feeling depressed and you start feeling lethargic, that is when your dopamine is dropping down really low. And what most people are on is this cycle of up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. Cut that. We don't want that anymore. Get rid of the highs and you'll get rid of the lows. And a lot of people say, but James, I like the highs. It's fun. Well, do you like the lows? Because if you want to be stuck in a rut and you want to stay in a rut and you want to continue going through these cycles where you feel good, feel shit, feel good, feel shit, feel good, feel shit, keep doing that. But if you want to be like the most successful people, and I can tell you right now, I coach a lot of guys who are very, very successful. That's what I do, right? It's my job. I'm a strategic coach for men who want to be more successful, men and women who want to be more successful. That's what I do. I can tell you right now, of all the most successful people, all the successful people, they manage their dopamine. If we manage our dopamine, we will be effective in making sure that we never get in a rut again. Now, if we're talking about in terms of business, if you're not progressing in your career or you're not progressing in your company or in the company that you own as much as what you'd like, if you're not making the income that you'd like, if you're not progressing up the ladder as you would like, what we need to do is we need to make it so that you stay consistent day in, day out. I was talking to one of my clients today, really amazing human being, and he was telling me every couple of weeks he has these swings, right? He was telling me one week, I want to quit this job, and the next week, this is the most amazing thing, and the week after, he wants to quit it again. And the reason being is because he had a really toxic dopamine response where he was craving it. The only reason he would do anything is for a little dopamine hit. Every time he got a raise, it was great. If he didn't get a raise, it was horrible. We need to remove that dopamine. And that's what we do in our coaching. I see we've got a lot of the guys on from JCF Clients Group. Welcome, guys. And our guys will know that the way that our coaching is designed is to keep you level all the time, consistently getting better every single day in every single way. That's what we're going for. We don't want you to be crushing it one week and sucking the next. And so the way that we coach this and way that we help people stay out of the rut is fix this dopamine response. So here's a couple of things that you can start doing if you want to fix this dopamine response. Step number 1, stop using motivation shit. Get rid of it. Bin that fucking pre-workout. Stop watching motivational videos. Stop going and scrolling Instagram and looking for fitspiration, or stop looking at wealth porn on the internet of people flying in jets and buying expensive houses. Get that out. Fuck it off. For social media, only use social media for ways which are going to be productive for you, which are going to make you more money. These videos that I'm making are designed to help you make more money, to get you in better shape and to make you crush it. Watch this shit. Don't watch the other crap. All right. Just because some girl looks fantastic in a bikini doesn't mean you need to go and look at it. It's not going to do you any good. All it's going to do is spike your dopamine, which is going to be followed by a rut afterwards. Okay. Third thing, surround yourself with people who are going to make you be better and help you be consistently better, and who will call you out if you are going through these highs and lows. That's what you need to do. You don't need to go and have some big mindset shift, which is going to boost your motivation by 3,000%. You need to get rid of motivation altogether. Because if you get rid of motivation altogether, you'll get yourself out of a rut. And instead, if you just stay focused every single day, doing the things you know that you need to do, then you'll crush it. Does that make sense, guys? Now, on that note, if this is something that you're struggling with and you find that you do get into ruts, somewhat regularly, if depending on where you're looking at this, there's going to be a link somewhere. It depends which platform you're on. We're streaming this to a couple of platforms at the moment. There's going to be a link somewhere that you can click. Right. And what you can do there is you can reach out to us, pop in your information. We'll help you and we'll give you some information on how to do this. We can have a chat with you. You can text us, whatever. Right. And we'll get you some information on how to get out of this rut and how you can be more consistent, how you can manage your dopamine response, and how you can crush life every single day. We grew 252% in the last year doing this. The reason why my business was not growing, the reason why JCF was stagnant for a little while there, was because I wasn't growing. Because my eye wasn't on the ball, because I had motivation highs and lows. Don't make the same mistake as my old self. Be like the James that's actually crushing it and doing really, really well now. There's something funny as I said, we grew 252%, and I went from working about 70 hours a week down to 20 or 30 hours a week. I now get done in 20 to 30 hours a week what I used to in 70. Why? Because when I'm on the ball, I'm on the fucking ball. Because I'm focused. Because I'm eternally motivated and I don't need to watch any motivation porn. I don't need anything to get me up. I just do it every single day, consistent over and over and over again. If that's how you want to be, if you just want to be continually getting better and better and better, all highs, no lows, reach out, click the link below, shoot us a message if you need. For all of our clients who are watching this, shoot us a message. We'll make sure that you're moving forwards every single day of the week. And we'll make sure that you are crushing it, because that's how you should be. You don't need to be motivated. You don't need motivation. You don't need to be in a rut. You don't need any of that shit. Every single day, you're going to be better in every single way. Take the uncommon route. Don't be like most people, spending their time on pre-workouts, watching YouTube videos to get them motivated, scrolling through Facebook and Instagram, and relying on people to pump them up. Fuck that. That's common. That's why most people never get to where they want to be. Be uncommon. Don't rely on motivation. Don't rely on motivational speeches and things to get you up and going. Be consistent. Be boring. Every single day better in every single way. On that note, guys, I'll leave you to it. If you want help, click on one of the links. I'm more than happy to help you out. I hope this helps you. Please, fuck motivation. Get out of that rut by being focused and being the same every single day.